We're here at Har Hertzel, Mount Herzl, which is a military cemetery in Jerusalem, not far from Yad Vashem, not far from Ben Shafner's school in Beit Vagan. And here, of course, many fallen soldiers are buried, and also, of course, Theodor Hertzel, who was in so many ways the father of modern Zionism, and the reason that we're able to be here at all. This morning, we're at the Kotel for Ben Shafner's actual bar mitzvah. Today, the 26th of Iyar, is his actual birthday. He was 13 today. He led the davening beautifully. He got an aliyah. Many of our St. Louis friends were there at the Kotel for the small and perhaps official bar mitzvah. My friends from the Yeshiva in Lod, as well as Rabbi Shafner, our Rosh Yeshiva, and then we all had bagels afterwards. It was really a wonderful experience at the Kotel. Now we've come here this afternoon to Har Hertzel, Mount Herzl, where Theodor Hertzel is buried. And there's a wonderful museum here, the Hertzel Museum, in which there's movies about his life and about his dream of Zionism. He was born in 1860. He died at only 44 years of age in 1904. One certainly learns from Hertzel many things. One thing, what can be accomplished in 44 years? He had a dream. After the Kishinev pogrom, he realized that Jews were not safe anywhere, and had a dream that the Jews should be safe in a land their own, and started to write about it. And the pen, being many times mightier than the sword, in this case was true. And he wrote about it and began to organize the first Basel Zionist Congress in Switzerland, at which hundreds of people were present, and then one each year for the next several years. As a religious Jew, I was never taught much about Hertzel. I never thought that Hertzel was, I always saw Hertzel perhaps as someone negative, somebody who saw the Jews as any other nation, wanted to be like any other nation, wanting them to be perhaps a secular nation, someone who didn't care perhaps much about religious Jewish life. But one of the things that one learns from the movie, and perhaps from reading the books about his life, which I haven't read, are that he was also reacting to the lack of safety that Jews faced. In the mid to late 1800s in Vienna, there was a great deal of anti-Semitism. And when Herzl considered Uganda in 1897 as a possible homeland for the Jews, he did it hoping for a Jewish home, a place of safety, first and foremost, for the Jews that were suffering in Europe, and had not forgotten about Jerusalem. And in fact, just as the movie depicts it, he began his speech with the Mishkachech, Yerushalayim Tishkach Yemini. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, may my right hand wither. This Shabbat we're going to begin, and this morning we read Bamidbar, the beginning of the book, fourth book of the Torah, the book of Bamidbar, Jewish people traveling in the desert. And the truth is that the desert travel was only supposed to be 1 year. And then in only a few parshas to come, the Jewish people will enter the land of Israel. They'll send in spies and have the Jews come back with a good report about Israel, not a bad report. The rabbis tell us it would have been the Messianic era. The Jews would have been in Jerusalem and in Israel forever, and we would not have suffered the pains that we suffered all through history, and that only having safety of the land now. So as we read these parshiot of the Jews in the desert but getting ready to enter the land of Israel, let us think about how dreams of the Jewish people being safe in a land that, as Herzl put it, needs to be a land in which the minorities in the land are given tremendous respect, a land of peace, a land where everyone is made in the image of God, a land that can be bracha l'chol mishpachot ha'adamah, blessing to all the nations of the world. May God help to bring it about speedily in our days. Shabbat Shalom.